Oh, hi, hello. Looks like I found little magical you. Look at you, there you are. Look at us go, we're showing up. If you are following me on Instagram, you saw that I was having a hard moment, full of self-doubt. Yeah, self-doubt. But here we are, we made it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you're missing a lot of juicy stuff over there. There's a lot more behind the scenes, day-to-day, juicy struggles of trying to be an artist. So if you want to see those things on Instagram, check it out. Or don't, that's fine. Today we are going to get into more doodles from the 100-day project. I promised you, and here they come, more doodles. In the first video, we went through doodles 1 through 7. So today, we are gonna go through, let's see how many doodles I have. We're gonna go through 8, I can count. We're gonna go through 8 through 22. This video is gonna be a lot longer than I intended, but that's okay. That's because I've got more doodles to show you, and that is a good thing. Come on and join me. Let's take a look at some doodles. Hi, thank you for sticking around. Let's get into some doodles, shall we? I'm gonna do it storybook style today because I just feel like it. I don't feel like doing it the other way, so let's just switch it up, make it fresh and different than the last one. A little bit of everything, right? Day 8 through 9. I drew 4 little pictures, like a little comic. I drew them out of order, so I'm gonna try my best to show you in order. Oh, it's raining outside. Here's the doodles. Okay. So I'm just gonna start showing you. I feel like I have the whole universe inside of me. That feels too heavy to hold inside. I wish it could live outside of me so I could feel more spacious inside. Or I wish it could flow freely through me. Sometimes I just feel like I've got too much living inside of me. Sometimes I just feel like I'm gonna explode. This doodle was just expressing that. I think that's what creating helps me do. It helps take what's inside and gets it outside of my body. Here I did a little blind contour of Nick because he was so sweet. We were just about to go to bed and I realized I hadn't doodled that day. I was trying very hard at that moment to make sure I doodled every day because remember I did like 16 days straight. Woohoo. I was like, shoot, I haven't doodled yet today. And Nick pulled out his phone. He was like, here, doodle something for me. Such a good support system partner. He's amazing. I doodled with my finger on his little paint thing in his phone, and unfortunately I used too heavy of a brush. You can't really see all the details that I was trying to draw, but I drew, so that's all that matters. Day 11, I was not really sure what I was doing yet, so I just started drawing, and I was gonna like try to make it a comic, but then like I didn't really think through what I was doing, so it kind of turned into a mess, but it's fine because I'm just doodling and putting down ideas. She's hearing something whisper to her when she's younger, and then she hears it again when she's older, and then she hears it again when she's a little bit older, and then calls her on the phone someday. Spoiler alert, it was the universe calling her to tell her to use her creativity, but she ignored it for a while. That doesn't sound like anyone I know. Gotta cover up surprises. Surprises, you can't see the next doodle before I show you this doodle, okay? Day 12, I was feeling stressed. I don't remember if it was because of doodling or what, but I was feeling stressed and this was my doodle. I'm fine, totally fine. The next day, day 13, I was working on a little moon because I love Luna. She's my girl. Another drawing I did that day this little one. And I really liked how these two doodles turned out. Just feel like me, and they feel cute and sweet. And oh yeah, I didn't finish them the first day. I came back later and worked on them some more. Day 14, we were watching a show, and someone asked the question. Wait, what was the question? There's a box in a desert. Picture it in your mind. Oh wait, you try it too. If you want to doodle it, that'd be really cool to see what you doodle. A box in the desert. Doodle it. I dare you. Come on, I dare you. I really dare you. I double puppy dare you. You can do it. Will you show me yours? I'd love to see it. I'll show you mine. Here we go. That's what it looked like to me. From my perspective, it was like, I'm here looking at the desert. There was this box. It was actually hovering over the ground, I think. Was it hovering? It might have been hovering. Well, now I can't remember the details. Now I'm blanking on the details of my own box. There was a giant cactus close to it, and then you could see like in the background some cactuses, cacti. My box was pretty big. Oh, and it was glass, so you could see all the way through it. Now, what did it, I feel like it symbolized something. I'm trying to remember. What did it mean to me at that moment? I love to analyze things, find the deeper meanings, and oh my goodness, okay, this is what I saw. Let's analyze it, figure out what it means. So I think it was a big box and kind of just exposed to the desert, or allow it like people could see through me, you know, something deep like that. Wow, I wish I wrote more details about it, because now I forgot. That's how my memory works. Day 15. That's how I felt on day 15. Felt more stressed, and it felt like it was in the dark, even though I was not in the dark, but I was doodling right before bed. And that is just how I felt. It is feeling really good that I am able to get a lot more of my emotions onto paper. It's really been helping my emotional state. The more outlets I can have for myself, the better, to be honest. Because, you know, all the different outlets that you have to get your emotions out all give you something a little bit different. You know, going for a walk does one thing. Drawing does a little bit of a different thing. Writing does a whole nother thing. Playing music does its own special thing. So it's nice to finally be able to get what's in my head down on paper. Day 16, I actually doodled in the dark because I thought that would be fun to try to have all the lights off. How's the light doing right now? I don't know. I think I actually wrote those words in the dark too. So I was trying to draw a face and a cloud, and that's how it turned out. I kind of love blind drawing. It's pretty fun. Okay, and then that was my 16 days of doodle in a row. Now you've seen all 16 days. Moving on to day 17. So day 16 was March 9th. Day 17 was March 20th. So that was 11 days, but I kept going. So that's what's important here. Day 17, drew myself a little Irish cloud guy. Irish cloud person, excuse me. Inspired by Irish Day. I am Irish, part Irish. Oh, and then I had some other ideas for doodles that I didn't finish quite yet, but I still just wanted to be able to show you the little doodles that I've got so far. It's my present self handing my heart off to my future self to protect my little heart, my sensitive emotions. I'm excited to come back to this and finish drawing it and make it all swirly and twirly and fun like that. I have been loving this song. What's it called? Why am I totally blanking on everything today? That's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Is it just called Mars by Talk? It is one of my new favorite songs. How does it go? What are the lyrics? Would you miss me in the end? I dare someone to say I don't have ADD. Okay, and then, yeah, so anyways, so I'm just thinking about Mars and planets, and I already love the sky and the universe and all the things. I wrote a little poem to go along with this little picture. It's kind of like I've landed on Mars, and I'm looking out at the rest of our solar system, just in case you want to hear the poem there. I'll read it for you right now. See how I can be really good at pretending I'm confident? Masking. I am getting more confident. It helps because I'm just talking to myself. It's just me right there. I can just pretend like no one's watching this video at all. Yeah, we're still recording. Okay, what was this about? Okay, yeah. So I'll read you the poem and then I'll tell you what it's about. I get so afraid of meeting myself there, the most vulnerable place, the very core. Most of the time I spend running away. I don't want to open my eyes for fear of what I'd face. It's rare I even arrive or step out of my ship, touch my feet to the ground and breathe the air in. I tend to forget it's the most wonderful thing. Being with myself there is the most magical feeling. Only there I can fully see and embrace all the magic of me. If only I could learn to live there instead, I could live in my heart rather than in my head. Now I'm remembering this moment of when I was doodling. I was also listening to Sleeping at Last, I'll Keep You Safe. If you want to get in touch with your little artist self, listen to that song, because there is the line, you are an artist and your heart is a masterpiece. That line got me and I broke down and was crying, and in a really good positive way of just really feeling that inside of myself, that I am an artist and I am a masterpiece. My heart is a masterpiece, and you know, I'm working on embracing that for myself. In that moment, I let myself go to this very deep, tender place. It feels like it's all the way deep down inside of me. If I could picture it and put it into words, it just feels like that deep space within myself is where all of this creativity lives and where life of me comes from. And it feels kind of scary sometimes to go to that deep place because it's so deep and it's emotional and it's raw and I never know what's gonna come out. But it's positive. Now it's positive because I've worked through the darkness of it. So now there's light there. But it's so deep and intimidating to allow myself to go to such a deep place. So this poem was about me allowing myself to go to that deep place and remembering, like, man, when I let myself go there, it is so sweet. It is such a beautiful moment. And if I could live from that place where I feel the most life, where I feel the most me, then whew, watch out, worlds. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there because I am determined to build my confidence and rid myself of doubt. So yeah, long story short, let's go to the next one. Day 18. This was a super fun moment of doodling for me. After the night before, when I just opened up and had that really beautiful moment with my creative self, I just felt so free the next day. I have also, I just wanted to share all of the tools that I'm using to find myself and my creative self. I bought this journal a while back, and I've just now cracked it open. Probably bought it a couple years ago. The Hero's Journal. Super fun journal. They basically say that you're the hero, you know, the hero's journey, you're the hero, you're going on a quest, and it kind of gives you some fun prompts in the beginning to define what your quest is and where you want to go. And then every day it has little spaces for you to write about your journey. Here's my quest, here's how I'm going to seize the day, a little inspirational quote, today I'm grateful for, today's allies, today's threats. I really have gotten so much out of using this journal and framing it in the way of like a comic, like a graphic novel quest. I kind of had already been putting myself in that mindset because I thought it would be really fun to create a comic. I created my little character in one of my videos with the wings and going with Nathan on a journey. I'll have to repost that video again with just the little comic-y part, because I have been thinking about this journey in terms of like a comic, and if I could draw it, what would it look like? And you know, it's a quest, it's a journey, it's an adventure that I'm going on. This notebook has just been an extra little tool of getting more in that mindset, of more just picturing it, you know, like a cartoon. Like, what am I facing? What do the monsters look like? What do the trails look like? What do the characters look like? What are my allies? What are my threats? You know, a little kind of D&D action too, just like role-playing and creating a story, writing out my story in that way. This was just a really fun doodle about all of that. This was today's quest, and I felt like my biggest ally. I gave her the name that day of Sam Brave Cheeks Dearness, just reminding myself that time is on my side. I am right on time. I'm not late to arriving or achieving my dreams. And when I forget how strong I am, my rocks remind me of my strength, my biggest rocks being Nick and my mom. I'm leaving behind made-up rules, 'cause, right? Like, all the rules are all made up. So I'm just gonna make up my own rules. Obviously sticking to morals of humanity, because I want to be a good human. But all the other rules are just bull. So there's my little self-doubt monster, which actually reminds me that, you know, had I pictured yesterday that my self-doubt monster looked like this, then I maybe wouldn't have been so terrified of it. Here's little old ghosts that try to come back and haunt me. My power lies in creating my own path, and also in my antlers and my golden wings. Also flower power, because I'm hippie, or at least want to be. I feel like in facing my problems, when I think about them as a comic, they feel so much smaller and so much more beatable, you know? They don't seem as real and terrifying and overwhelming. It's just like, oh, it's this little rock in the road that I can walk right over and I'm okay. If that helps anybody out there, that's helping me continue on my quest and be braver and stronger and believe in myself more. Then I started practicing comics a little bit more, kind of just getting out some ideas so it's not like perfectly drawn. It's just a rough draft of getting my ideas out, which I want to fully draw and then show you those again later. There's a little bit more just doodling ideas. Day 19, here we are, just working on some more faces. Found this artist, Sam Dawson. Crazy good illustrator. I love their art so much. It's so cute. It feels like a little bit Adventure Time-y, but definitely like their own style. These little face doodles were kind of inspired by their art. Day 20, doodling down another little idea that I want to come back to and finish later. That same day, I started to draw a little tattoo idea that I've had in my head for so long. I want like a whole sleeve of like a deer and flowers and just like this whole thing. Oh my god, I want it so bad. Then I drew this little character inspired by climate change because it's my little cloud person, but she is underwater now because the waters have risen. Yikes. Then I drew these little doodles. Hopefully you can see these okay. I don't know how to do this. I'm learning, okay? A little house in the clouds. Me holding a little house. It's my home. And I drew this little character. That was fun. Oh, look at me. Figuring things out as I go. Over here, when my character was underwater, she was blowing bubbles. So I was like, oh, let's draw a little character blowing a bubble. Nick helped me with the shoes because for some reason, my brain really struggles to understand how perspective works sometimes. I understand it in my mind, but I cannot translate it from my brain to my hand. That's why practicing helps, because you figure all that out. Full moon character up in the cloud. Oh yes, March was challenging emotionally, just working through a lot of stuff. Coming out of March and into April, feeling very emotional and tender lately, and that's okay. So there's that one. Very emotional based drawings. I am feeling so connected to like the swirly and the scratchy dark vibes. It's funny, like I'm so contradicting to myself. Like I love color so much, but I also love black. Learn to embrace the darkness and what comes out of it. So, huge fan of Van Gogh. Starry Night is my favorite painting, and Tim Burton is so inspiring to me. I can see why those influences kind of work their way into some of my art. Day 22, just had fun doodling a bunch of clouds. You know, you've heard the whole speech about clouds, love them. They're just what I am most inspired by at the moment. I was thinking of going back in and doing patterns in all the clouds. Also, I love the negative space at the same time. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll leave that alone and then I'll draw a bunch more clouds and then put the patterns in there. I don't know, we'll see. That is all of my doodles that I have so far. We're gonna keep going on this 100-day project, and I will have another video when I've got more doodles to show you. Thank you for joining me for another one today. Would love to hear if you are doing the 100-day project or just any special projects that you have going on. I have really been enjoying connecting with other artists online and meeting you guys and talking about our art, and it just feels like such a good, lovely, supportive community, and I'm really grateful for all of you. Support your local artists. I would love your support, but hey, if you don't support me, just go support any other artist, because we're all in this together, we're all family. We just want to make the world more magical and show you guys all the magic too. Support artists. Support artists and all the work they do, because they're amazing. I want to be amazing too. I just want to do what I love and make the world a happier, safer, more loving place to be. So that's what's happening in this moment. We'll see what happens in the next moment. Goodbye, my magical humans. See you next time. I drew four little, I don't know how do I say these words. So I forget people's names. I'm not really bad at remembering people's names and stuff. What I'm enjoying drawing. Sounds funny, but whatever. We'll go with it. Go like the last section from my Instagram, because that's where I keep my collection of my favorite artists. Excuse me. I'm gassy. Day 20, again, just whew. What are you doing over there, Nathan? Suspicious. My body feels like I'm really struggling with my words today. It's fine. It's 12. Let's move on to the next doodle.